Did anything fun happen today? Yoshihiro Ikuchi, born May 15, 1933, would adopt the stage name Juzo Itami in the middle of his acting career after marrying Nobuko Miyamoto. Itami would go on to write and direct 11 films, all satirist comedies, all in collaboration with and starring his wife Nobuko. A 12th film was produced, regarding the underground Japanese Yakuza, but Itami would go on to pass away in 1997 before the film was finished, from an alleged suicide. In 2008, a former member of the Gotogumi Yakuza group spoke out. "We dragged him out to the rooftop and put a gun in his face. We gave him a choice. Jump and you might live, or stay and we'll blow your face off. He jumped."
ガラスの覗き窓から2、3秒死に顔を拝見し、
拝見
深く頭を下げて拝み、その後遺族に対して
何かお手伝いさせていただきたいのですが、
ねえ、あっちの挨拶はいいのよ。問題はこっちの答え方でしょ。
というように申し出るのがよろしいです。
In the funeral, Itami's own feature debut after life as an actor, he peels back the layers of ritual around death, and in doing so, he exposes the anxieties and humor within it. The film follows a family as they navigate the complicated, almost scripted experience of mourning an elder, a journey laced with logical mishaps and bursts of comic absurdity. Here, the act of consumption, the using of a resource, is societal. Itami shows us how grieving families consume traditions they might not fully understand, performing rites by rote, unsure of their meaning but desperate for a way to say goodbye. The characters buy into this elaborate production, much like actors in a play trying to enact solemnity while often succumbing to farce. But they struggle with whether these performances are meant to honor the dead or reassure the living.
最初はまずラーメンをよく見ます。ラーメンの表面を鳴らすというか撫でるというか、そういう動作をしてください。
これはどういう意味でしょう。
ラーメンに対する愛情の表現です。次に箸の先を焼き豚の方に向けてください。
はは、いきなり焼き豚から食べるわけですか。
いやいや、この段階では触るだけです。箸の先で焼き豚を愛おしむようにつつき、おもむろにつまみ上げ、丼右上方の位置に沈ませ加減に安置するのです。そしてこれが大切なところですが、この時心の中でわびるがごとくつぶやいてほしいのです。
The ramen master teaches his students to consume with reverence, to admire each and every ingredient, to savor each bite. Food here is something beyond nutrition. It is an identity, it is an art, and it is a means of connecting. Through the art direction and lighting in Tampopo, food is presented with a picturesque quality, one that highlights desire and artistry in the world of cuisine. In Tampopo, ramen is a way of life, but Itami shows us that much like a funeral, it is also a ritual.
おわびさん、ちょっと。金持ってる。俺病院の患者払ってくる。いくらぐらい？さあね、ちょっと見当はつかないけどね。
20万ぐらいならあるけどね。
ああ、多分足りると思うよ。ちょっと言ってくる。
これです。33,560円になってますね。
33,000？
560円です。何かこれ死後の処置料3,000円と死亡診断書2通の2,000円も入っておりますから。
Yet amid the absurdity, there is a quiet dignity in the funeral. By taking part in these rituals, the family connects to something larger than themselves, a lineage, a history, a community. A common through line in Itami's films is juxtaposition through editing. Within the funeral, he presents two worlds, one that is how we feel we should be, and the other being how we are. Itami asks us to consider whether consuming tradition, however clumsy, might still be meaningful, even necessary. But we quickly see that this isn't about taste, it's about legacy. Throughout the film, truck driver Goro mentors Tampopo to improve her craft in restaurant, continuously gathering allies like ingredients in a good bowl of noodles. But the world is layered through a series of vignettes that each paint a picture of humanity through individual perspectives, displaying different facets of food as if they were in a montage. Itami shifts focus from ramen shops and funerals to the most mundane of settings, a supermarket. But in Itami's hands, this setting becomes a battleground, a place where ethics and business, competition and camaraderie clash over something ordinary. Shizuko, the protagonist, is hired to help turn around a struggling supermarket. She finds herself up against another store, a corporate giant that has sacrificed quality and ethics in favor of profits.
彼女にとっては買い物のドラマなの。こんなに素晴らしい晩ご飯をこんなに安く作れた。私ってなんて素敵な主婦なんでしょう。家族の幸せ私に任せといてちょうだい。
For the businessman, devouring a ramen bowl as if it's a sacred rite, it is performative yet necessary. For the gangster, food is a sensual expression of love. The act of eating becomes a stage for human drama, one where each bite says something about who we are. Tampopo offers an allegorical exploration of socio-cultural relationships mitigated through edible goods. Food is shared as a symbol of intimacy, a way of breaking down social barriers. Consumption is another language of connection, one that is messy, primal, and unabashedly human. Through Shizuko's efforts, we see that a supermarket can be more than just a place to buy things. It can be a place to build trust, a space where people can feel seen and valued. The rituals are part of a cultural fabric that stitches people together, a symbolic act that feeds our sense of continuity and belonging, even when we don't fully understand it. Itami uses this setting to critique the rising corporate influence in Japan, showing how the way in which we consume transactionally can reinforce or break barriers. In Juzo Itami's world, consumption is a mirror. Through eating, mourning, and shopping, his characters seek meaning, belonging, and connection. They consume not just to sustain themselves, but to understand themselves. In an article about Tampopo, Isles says, "The problem for the individual in a modernist setting is how to regain for himself a sense of his individuality. How to maintain his identity against a machinery, bureaucratic or otherwise, that seeks to make of him an anonymous consumer." Itami recognizes that nowadays, what we consume and how we consume reveals our values, relationships, and ultimately our humanity. We are what we eat, but much more than that, we are how we eat. In Itami's films, this very act becomes a kind of poetry, a reminder that life is rich and complex, not in spite of the mundane, but because of it. Every day after coming home from work, Kizo would ask his wife Nobuko, "Did anything fun happen today?" acknowledging the potential for absurdity as a means of appreciating the subtleties of life. For Itami, the ritualistic daily routine isn't just ordinary. It's where we find the extraordinary truths of what it means to be alive.